What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to this, what I guess would be a reaction video here on Anfield Agenda. I've listened intentfully and read the words from Sean Dyche after Liverpool beat Everton by 2 goals to nil in the latest Merseyside derby. And I just want to come on and address Sean Dyche's concerns, give my take on those major refereeing decisions that happened, and of course, as always, ask you guys to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you agree with what I say or what Mr. Dyche says, please do let us know. And as always, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, we'd love you to do so. So let's talk about the big decisions yesterday, and let's start off from the Liverpool side. Firstly, there was, of course, the sending off of Ashley Young, and I don't think anybody really has any concerns about that. I think even the Everton fans I've seen admit that there was probably no malice or anything. It was 2 yellow cards. Ashley Young was sent off, and that was absolutely fine. We move on, though, to some of the other decisions in the game, and mainly the challenge on Diaz that didn't result in a penalty. I mean, I'm okay with that. I personally think it was a penalty, but I am definitely of the understanding that people will look at that in a different way. But he did slide into him. He was out of control. He did clip the player, but it wasn't given. We move on to the next penalty incident, which was, of course, the handball. And I think anybody with any sense of knowledge of the game will see that the defender's arm was way out by his side, and that was a Stonewall penalty. Now, in fairness to Sean Dyche and Everton fans, I've not really seen or heard much complaining about those decisions. I think the real bone of contention here, of course, comes around the Konate incident. So before I give you my take on it, let me just read you some quotes from Sean Dyche, and we'll see what he's had to say. He said, "I'll be amazed if there's anybody out there who thinks that wasn't a yellow," and I think he means the second yellow, obviously, for Konate. "Especially in the modern game, let's have it right. You can't touch somebody on the shoulder and the legs, buckle, and you get a penalty or whatever the moment is." He goes on to say, "It's just bizarre to me that some of the decisions that were bookings and then Konate's is not. That's baffling. With the game still goalless at the time, Jurgen Klopp withdrew Konate moments after the foul, and this is what Sean Dyche had to say about that. Their manager, fair play to him, he took Konate off as quickly as he could after that. He's realised they've gotten away with one there. I imagine he couldn't wait to get him off." Now, after the match, Klopp was willing to admit that probably we were a bit fortunate. This is what he had to say about the Konate incident. "Ibrahima could have gone, yes, it could have happened, obviously, and then we took him off from that moment, and we were solid and compact." So look, let's get round to my thoughts on this now. Do I think that Sean Dyche has a case for Ibrahima Konate to be sent off? Absolutely. I have no doubts whatsoever that Sean Dyche feels aggrieved and that Everton fans feel aggrieved. Because, if I'm being really honest, he probably did deserve to get that second yellow card and be sent off. I've long been somebody who's been a critic of the PGMOL and referees in the Premier League. And I amn't just one of these people that thinks it only happens to Liverpool Football Club. It happens to everybody. And I make a point of saying, when I'm having these little rants on watch-alongs, it'll be my team this week, it'll be your team the week after. And people are often too blinded by tribalism that they don't take their anti-Liverpool glasses off or their pro-whatever club they support glasses off. They just look at it from a very small perspective. For me, I absolutely agree with Sean Dyche. I agree with anybody that thinks Konate could have been sent off. Was Craig Houlden maybe taken into account the decisions that have gone against Liverpool in recent weeks? The furore with the PGMOL, the whole stuff about Lucho Diaz's goal not being given against Spurs? I don't know the answer to that. I guess Craig Houlden is the only one who knows the answer to that. But what I do say is that it was probably the incorrect decision and that Everton were served a bit of an injustice. Now, I don't know what way the game would have gone. Same way I don't know what way the game would have gone in previous games where I felt our boys have been mistreated. But one more thing that I want to bring to your attention, and again, I mentioned this multiple times during the watch-along, when they looked for the handball against Everton to give Liverpool the penalty, which of course the great Mohamed Salah stepped up and buried, never in any doubt, right? I think it's 5 from 8 now from over the penalty spot, so that percentage is rising. But go back and watch the watch along, or maybe you don't have the time to, but I'll tell you what I said. At the time, the referee was asked by David Koo, who was the VAR operator, to go over and have a look at it. And as soon as he walked over, I said the same thing that I said when Liverpool went over, or when the referee went over to send Curtis Jones off for his tackle. I said, why is the referee being once again greeted with a still image of the incident at its worst point? If you look at it, when Craig Houlden went over to the VAR screen, he was seeing the handball immediately just in a still frame. Not right. And then they go on to show it in slow motion, and then they rewind it in slow motion. Then they show it again multiple times in slow motion. Now, as far as I'm aware, the protocols from the PGMOL for the implementation of VAR, and specifically around replays, slow motion is only to be used in incidents, as an example, where there's a foul right on the edge of the penalty area, and they need to see, or if it's a handball as well, they need to see if it happened inside or outside. So they need that slow motion, frame by frame shot. And I think we all understand that. Same for offside decisions. They need to get that exact frame where the ball leaves the passing player's foot before it goes on to the attacking player to score. We all understand that. But if you're telling me that they need to look at a handball or a foul in slow motion to see what the outcome was, then I'm saying to you that it's not fit for purpose, because you could have looked at that in full speed twice and seen it was a blatant handball. Same with half of the red cards. If you send the referee over, and as I said, this doesn't benefit me at all saying it, but if you send the referee over, in my opinion, as soon as Craig Pawson looks at that still image, the decision was made. Everton were conceding a penalty, and I don't like it. And yes, it happened to Everton yesterday, and Merseyside derby win is always good, but I'm trying to be sincere. I don't like it. I don't like these decisions being made for the referee, basically, before he goes over, because nobody in their right mind is going to walk over there then, see this, be greeted by this still image of the worst part of the incident, and not be influenced by that. So I think it needs to be dropped, and it needs to be dropped soon. I'm sure there were many other incidents this week in the Premier League that you guys will have raised questions around with regards to the implementation of the rules from the PGMOL and the referees. We as fans always ask for the same thing: consistency in decision making, and I don't think we've seen that once again. And I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section about more incidents that didn't have that same result as we will see in other games over the course of the season. So I'm trying to be on here, and I'm trying to again show you that it is a problem, and it's a problem right across the league, and it's a problem that we football fans need to come together and give our voices to. Because we can't just be tribal in these things, because the more we become tribal, the more we just have snidey comments towards each other, the more I believe that emboldens these decisions. The more I believe that that lets the PGMOL and the referees off the hook even more, because they're only alienating a very small percentage of people with each incident, and each week it's a different team when it goes by, and it just goes away the next week. People forget about it because the next incident happens and the next incident happens. For us, as a football community, I think we need to come together and really ask for this consistency, and really ask for proper change in the protocols and the way they're implemented. So I look forward to reading your comments, my friends. I appreciate you taking the time. And any Everton fans watching, or fans of other clubs, I'd love your feedback as well in the comment section. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will catch up with you soon. Real love. Bye-bye.